Thank you very much, sir. Assalamu alaikum, bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Before I say anything else, I'd like to say thank you to the Dawn group for inviting me, and also to Her Excellency, Madam Romina, who, by her passionate speech, people of the world. You said region, I would say the world. It's from that perspective that I would like to speak to you. Just out of curiosity, in the audience, may I see a show of hands as to how many people are from the private sector here today? And how many are from either public sector or the non-for-profit? I wish to have seen more from the private sector today. To answer your question, I think it makes sense to, before we can see where is the opportunity, we should know who is patient capital, because they're the ones who will see the opportunity. What is the global south? Because that's where the opportunity is globally. It's not in Silicon Valley, it's in the global south. And then the third is, where are those opportunities and how do we take advantage of them? So who is patient capital? In one sentence, patient capital is not extractive capital. There is actually a battle in private sector globally occurring today in every single country. Patient capital is the Wallenbergs of Sweden, who just stepped in and invested an undisclosed amount to save Stegra. Stegra is the first green steel manufacturing plant in the world. It's a commitment to provide Sweden's contribution to the energy transition. This is important to note because the battle is between elements like a Wallenberg family patient capital that is thinking 100 years ahead, who is thoughtful, and who is seeing the difference between extraction, which is taking only for yourself and profit now, versus future. So if you keep that in mind, what is patient capital? And without naming names, I think any one of us can think of what is extractive capital. That actually moves us to who is the global south. The global south could be anyone from the BRICS, China all the way to Brazil, to emerging markets. I define global south as where are the resources. And this is why patient versus extractive capital is important. Extractive capital is telling countries who own the resources that they need to buy the technologies in order to save their resources while investing to extract the resources. Think about that. That conundrum is amazing when you think about it. Buy our stuff so we can take your resources to sell you more of our stuff, is basically what's happening. Patient capital is in negotiations with the people who are around this group to discuss where is the intersect between money, policy, and national development, because that's the most profitable. The Wallenbergs are some of the most wealthy family in the world out of families. You will never hear about them because they act to show how they invest. And that is similar to an example within Pakistan, which is the ED Foundation. It is a type of capital. And the minute we start to see the non-for-profit sector as a type of capital is when we change it from seeing money sucked in to actually sustainability coming out. That aspect of thoughtfulness, of learning how to navigate your public sector. Every single country has public sector issues. But if you learn how to navigate your public sector to drive that intersect between capital, policy, and who's actually benefiting, that's where you're going to get the maximum amount of profit long term, coming back to patient capital. So where are the opportunities? I noted that the global south, regardless of levels of development, are where the resources sit. The opportunity is in three areas. One is soil restoration and agriculture. Agriculture is more than food. It is fashion. It is your clothing. It is what you eat. It is your water. All of these are highly profitable industries. And what I find fascinating is while you have huge agricultural industrial giants selling genetically modified seeds to the global south, they are cultivating natural seeds from the global south to plant in developed nations and remove genetically modified seeds. I urge the private sector that is involved in agriculture to use this valuable resource as a bank and think of ways to capitalize it and to monetize it for the benefit of your own people. This is just one example. If you think of every single natural resource, it is very similar. So that brings to me to, if we're looking at this, where is the opportunity? The opportunity is right in front of us. I think it was Ren who said that it's not the large scale, it's not the macroeconomic policies, it's the people on the ground. That opportunity of working with farmer cooperatives, trade centers, women in arts and crafts, these are actually the most profitable because these are the people where you can give back the most value as well as take the most value. And that creates the resilience. I'm a member of this group called the Institute of Sovereign Investors. It's a group of former sovereign leaders who are actually working at this intersect. And one of the areas that we have found to create the most resilience is the evolution of sovereign capital to look at all of these resources as ways to create banks that then benefit the people. So, sir, you asked me what's the opportunity. The opportunity, I think, is right in front of us, but it means that we must think, we must be considerate, and we must be mutual in our decision-making around capitalizing on that opportunity. I'd like to close by saying that when I sat in the public sector seat, I used to feel really sorry for the private sector that was talking to us because they were usually surrounded by every single public sector official on the table. Now I feel sorry for myself. So I'm waiting for the ambassadors to tell me that there is something wrong with what I've said.
Thank you very much, Seema, for that intervention.